Are your vitamins secretly stealing your strength? Many seniors trust vitamins to stay strong, but two common ones may be draining your legs. Stop the hidden decline before it's too late. The fix is easier than you think. You ever notice your legs feeling heavier, maybe even a little wobbly, like you're trudging through wet sand? Listen, after you hit 60, that creeping weakness isn't just normal aging. It's a red flag your body's waving frantically. Sure, you might chalk it up to being tired or maybe just getting older, but the truth is, weak legs could be whispering that your healthy aging journey has hit a hidden pothole. According to a 2021 study in the Journal of Aging Research, declining leg strength is one of the earliest predictors of future mobility problems and even cognitive decline. Yup, it's all connected. And here's a plot twist. Some foods and supplements that seem healthy might secretly be chipping away at your strength. Imagine Betty, 68, who prided herself on eating clean, yet her legs felt weaker every month. Turned out her so-called health foods were stealthily draining her muscle energy. Scary, right? But here's the good news. Once you spot the trouble, you can flip the script. Think of it like tuning up a classic car. The engine's still good, it just needs the right fuel. So what hidden culprits could be undermining your longevity and vitality without you even realizing it? Well, let's just say it's something you probably had for breakfast yesterday. Ever had one of those mornings where a donut or a healthy muffin just calls your name? Hey, no judgment. We've all been there. But here's the kicker. That sweet fix might be setting you up for something far worse than a sugar crash. Excess refined sugar is like pouring sticky syrup straight into your body's machinery, gumming up the works. According to the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, chronic sugar overload sparks low-grade inflammation that quietly tears away at muscle fibers, wrecks circulation, and zaps your legs of strength faster than you can say chocolate chip cookie. Remember Jerry, 72, who loved his morning pastries? He brushed off his wobbly legs as normal aging, until one small stumble turned into a hip fracture, all because sugar had been silently sabotaging his muscle energy for years. The crazy part, even innocent foods like granola bars, flavored yogurts, and fruit juices often hide more sugar than a candy bar. But don't panic. Swapping to fiber-rich berries, a handful of almonds, or even a good old hard-boiled egg can stabilize your energy and protect those legs for the long haul. Curious what other everyday foods could be steering your healthy aging journey off a cliff without you knowing? Well, hang tight. The next one is crisp, golden, and hiding danger in plain sight. Picture this, a basket of crispy fries, hot and golden, that smell so good it almost feels like they're calling your name. Now, what if I told you that little indulgence could be quietly hardening your joints and stealing your strength, one delicious bite at a time? Fried foods, packed with trans fats and saturated fats, don't just tickle your taste buds. They clog your arteries, stiffen your joints, and choke off circulation like a slow, silent storm. A study from Harvard Health even warns that regular intake of these fats accelerates muscle degeneration, making simple things, like standing up from a chair, feel like climbing Mount Everest. I once met Linda, a vibrant 65-year-old who loved her fried chicken Sundays. Over time, her knees started locking, her ankles swelled, and her walks to the mailbox turned into painful journeys. Once she traded fried foods for baked salmon, roasted veggies, and air-fried alternatives, her energy and her legs came back stronger than ever. Crazy how one switch can reroute your future, right? If you think fried foods are the worst offender, though, buckle up. The next food culprit looks soft, innocent, and is probably sitting right on your kitchen counter. You know that fluffy slice of white bread that feels so comforting, maybe toasted with butter or stacked into a hearty sandwich? Well, here's the uncomfortable truth. That innocent loaf might be robbing your legs of the vitality they deserve. White bread, with its sky-high glycemic index and almost zero real nutrients, acts like a sugar bomb in your body. According to research published in the Journal of Nutrition, foods like white bread spike your blood sugar, slam your insulin levels, and drain your muscles' energy reserves like pulling the plug out of a bathtub. No wonder your legs feel sluggish after lunch. Meet Tom, 70, who thought a simple turkey sandwich was a healthy lunch. Over time, though, he noticed his walks got shorter, and stairs started feeling like Everest. Once he swapped white bread for whole grain options, like sprouted Ezekiel bread or hearty rye, his strength came roaring back. Plus, he said his digestion got better too. Double win. Surprising, right? Just a tiny swap can be a game changer for senior health. But brace yourself. Because if you think white bread was sneaky, wait until you hear what one glass of relaxation might be doing to your bones and muscles. Ah, that glass of wine at dinner, or the cold beer on a hot afternoon. It feels like a little reward, right? But here's the hidden story nobody's talking about. Alcohol isn't just a buzz, it's a burglar, quietly robbing your muscles and bones of their strength. Even moderate drinking disrupts mineral absorption, dehydrates your tissues, and hinders muscle repair. According to studies from the National Institute on Aging, over time, that means frail bones, weaker legs, and a much greater risk of fractures, even from a small fall. Picture Helen, 66, who loved her evening glass of white wine. She was fit, active, until one day she tripped over a rug and shattered her ankle. Doctors later found early signs of osteoporosis, fueled partly by her harmless nightly habit. But here's the beautiful flip side. When Helen swapped her wine for herbal teas, like anti-inflammatory ginger or green tea, her balance, muscle tone, and even her sleep improved. Bonus, she saved money too. Crazy how one tiny habit can snowball over the years, right? And if you think alcohol is the only silent destroyer hiding in your diet, hang on, because next, we're diving into a food that millions call delicious, but is secretly stirring up relentless joint inflammation. You know that smoky slice of bacon or the juicy sausage sizzling on Sunday morning? Yeah, it smells amazing, but there's a darker story behind that delicious scent. Processed meats are like tiny time bombs for your joints and muscles. Loaded with sodium, nitrates, and preservatives, they crank up inflammation in your body like throwing gasoline on a fire, according to the World Health Organization. Over time, that inflammation gnaws away at your joints and drains strength from your legs, leaving you feeling older than you really are. Take Mike, 69, who loved his daily ham sandwich. He thought he was eating light, but behind the scenes, his joints were getting stiffer, his steps shakier. When he swapped processed meats for lean proteins like grilled chicken, lentils, and omega-3 rich salmon, his mobility and senior health improved dramatically. It's a wake-up call most folks don't hear until it's almost too late. And hey, there are delicious swaps you'll actually crave once you give them a shot. But if you think processed meats are the end of the story, you're in for a shock. Because next up is something millions grab for a quick fix, without realizing it's wrecking their circulation and swelling their legs. Quick, easy, and tasty. Instant noodles seem like the perfect fix on a busy day, right? But here's the harsh reality. Those little packets are stealthily sabotaging your legs and your future. Instant noodles are swimming in sodium, chemical additives, and empty carbs. And according to a study in the Journal of Nutrition and Health, they're a direct highway to poor circulation, water retention, and, you guessed it, leg swelling and weakness. Imagine Susan, 64, who used to think a cup of noodles was harmless between errands. Fast forward a few years, her ankles started ballooning, her knees ached constantly, and even short walks became battles. It wasn't age catching up to her. It was the salt and additives quietly draining her strength. Once she switched to quick, healthy options like quinoa salads, veggie-packed wraps, or even overnight oats, her mobility and energy rebounded fast. Crazy how fast the body responds when you treat it right, huh? And trust me, if you think instant noodles were the sneakiest saboteur in your pantry, wait till you see what's lurking on your birthday cake plate. There's just something about a soft, frosted cake that feels like pure happiness on a plate, right? But here's the kicker. Those mass-produced industrial cakes could be quietly slicing away your strength. These treats are packed with trans fats and sugars that trigger chronic inflammation, suffocate your circulation, and eat away at your precious leg muscle mass, all without you even realizing it. Research from the American Heart Association points out that trans fats not only stiffen arteries, but also accelerate muscle breakdown, especially as we age. I'll never forget Rita, 67, who always kept snack cakes in her pantry, just for a little treat. Over time, her legs began feeling weak and crampy, and her morning walks turned into labored shuffles. But once she ditched the cakes and swapped them for antioxidant-rich fruits like blueberries and heart-healthy dark chocolate, at least 70% cacao, her legs, and her spirit, felt alive again. It's wild how much food can either fuel or fight our healthy aging goals. And get this, if you thought cakes were the only comfort food hurting your legs, the next one might just surprise you even more. Creamy, melty, rich. Cheese feels like pure comfort, doesn't it? But not all cheeses are created equal. Ultra-processed varieties, those shiny slices that barely resemble real cheese, are hiding a double whammy of danger. They're loaded with sodium and saturated fats that cause water retention, mineral imbalance, and a rapid breakdown of muscle and bone strength, according to findings from the International Osteoporosis Foundation. It's like slowly pulling bricks out of your body's foundation without noticing, until one day, everything wobbles. Bob, 71, loved his daily cheese fix, thinking it was a good source of calcium. But processed cheeses were actually leaching the minerals he needed, not building him up. When he swapped to real, minimally processed cheeses like feta, goat cheese, or even a little sharp cheddar, his balance and endurance noticeably improved. Who knew something so small could make such a big difference? But don't set down your fork yet, because next, we're tackling a treat that's icy, sweet, and sneakily turning strong legs into jelly. Hot day, tired feet, and a big bowl of creamy ice cream. Sounds like the perfect treat, doesn't it? But beneath that sweet chill lies a silent threat to your strength. Industrial ice creams are packed with saturated fats and refined sugars that don't just tickle your taste buds. They seriously mess with your circulation and crank up inflammation in your body, according to research from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. And when blood flow to your legs slows down, muscles weaken and exhaust faster than you can say, brain freeze. I think of Carol, 70, who loved winding down with a nightly bowl of her favorite vanilla ice cream. At first it felt harmless, until climbing stairs left her breathless and her calves ached just getting around the house. When she traded processed ice cream for homemade nice cream, frozen bananas blended with berries and a splash of almond milk. So good, trust me. Her legs felt lighter and more powerful within weeks. Isn't it amazing how even our sweetest habits can make or break our healthy aging goals? And if you thought ice cream was sneaky, wait until you see the next so-called treat that's quietly stiffening your joints from the inside out. A little square of milk chocolate after dinner. Innocent, right? Well, here's the shocker. Most milk chocolate isn't doing you any favors. It's packed with refined sugars, unhealthy fats, and barely any of the real cocoa goodness your body actually needs. According to Frontiers in Nutrition, the overload of sugar and bad fats in milk chocolate fans the flames of inflammation, quietly weakening muscles and stiffening joints over time. Think about Edna, 73, who treated herself to a few chocolate bars a week, believing it was good for the heart. But what she didn't know? The low cocoa content and sky-high sugar were zapping her mobility and fueling her leg pain. Once she swapped her milk chocolate for a few squares of dark chocolate, 85% cacao or higher, not only did her cravings settle, but her joints stopped screaming for mercy too. Funny how tiny choices add up, isn't it? And if you think chocolate's the only hidden landmine in your pantry, just wait until you hear how something as simple as opening a can could be quietly draining your muscle energy day after day. Pop, fizz, pour. Canned foods make life easy, right? But here's the dirty little secret. Convenience comes at a cost. Many canned foods are loaded with sodium, preservatives, and chemicals that quietly sabotage your muscle strength and circulation. According to the Journal of Nutrition, the high sodium content strains your cardiovascular system, reduces nutrient absorption, and leaves your muscles gasping for the fuel they desperately need. Take Richard, 68, who thought canned soups were a smart, quick meal. Fast forward a few years and he was battling swollen legs, extreme fatigue, and stubborn weakness. The culprit wasn't just getting older, it was hidden inside those innocent cans. When Richard switched to fresh or frozen veggies, home-cooked broths, and low-sodium options, he regained pep in his step and even dropped a few pounds without even trying. It's amazing how ditching the can supercharge your journey toward longevity and senior health. But if you think canned foods are the sneakiest enemy, hold on to your seat, because next, we're talking about the everyday snacks that could be quietly sabotaging your strength with every crunchy bite. Those crunchy cookies and snacks seem so innocent until you realize they're quietly draining the strength from your legs. Packed with trans fats, sugars, and artificial additives, they clog your arteries, inflame your joints, and pile on weight exactly where you don't want it. A study from the American Journal of Medicine shows that daily snacking on processed foods accelerates muscle fatigue and makes simple movements, even standing up, feel heavier. Barbara, 70, thought a few cookies here and there were harmless. but months later she could barely keep up with her grandkids at the park. When she traded her usual snack stash for raw almonds, Greek yogurt, or fresh berries, she felt lighter and more energized within weeks. Funny how the smallest habits tip the scale so dramatically. And if you think that's bad, just wait. There's one hidden ingredient in ready-made meals that could be locking up your muscles without you even knowing it. That quick frozen dinner or takeout meal may seem harmless, but many are laced with monosodium glutamate, MSG, a hidden troublemaker for your muscles. While it boosts flavor, studies like those from the Journal of Clinical Neurology show MSG disrupts neurotransmitters and fuels chronic inflammation. The result: muscular stiffness, swollen legs, and a creeping weakness that's easy to miss until climbing stairs feels like scaling a mountain. Paul, 66, loved his microwave meals. They were easy after a long day, but when his knees started locking and his calves cramped at night, he knew something wasn't right. Cutting out ready-made meals and focusing on simple, home-cooked dishes with fresh herbs, olive oil, and lemon made a night-and-day difference. His legs, once heavy and stiff, felt lighter, more capable. It's wild how fast your body thanks you for real food. But even natural things can sometimes backfire, especially if you're overdoing certain vitamins that seem healthy at first glance. Too much vitamin A stiffens joints and weakens muscles fast. Nancy, 65, thought she was helping herself. Cutting back changed everything. Sometimes even healthy habits turn against you. Too much vitamin D stiffens muscles and clogs tissues with calcium. Joe, 68, thought he was protecting his bones. Instead, pain and stiffness crept in. Even good intentions can backfire. Want strong legs again? Comment, like, and subscribe. Your best health is closer than you think.